It feels so good to be back. Oh my gosh. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Larnie and today we are going to talk about the Lingoda language sprint. Now, if you are learning French or if you are really into the French fluencers who are around on YouTube, then you've likely heard about the Lingoda language sprint. So let's start at the beginning. What is Lingoda? What is the language sprint? If you do not know, let me fill you in. So Lingoda is a language learning online school. They teach English, business English, French, German, and Spanish, I believe. I wish they had more languages because you know that I want to get back learning Arabic very soon, but that's what they have for now. So every couple of months, I would say maybe 3 times a year, though that's not a hard fact, that's just my observation, but about 3 times a year, it seems, they run a language sprint, which is a very concentrated period of time where you can sign up to do their super sprint, which is what I'm doing, or their regular sprint. The super sprint is 1 class a day in your target language for 3 months. And at the end of that period, if you take all your classes and follow all the rules, then you will get 100% cash back. The regular sprint, I don't know if it has a special name, is 15 classes a month for 3 months. And at the end of that, you get 50% cash back. So there's a huge financial incentive here. And most of the time when I hear people talk about this, I hear them really frame it as like, you can basically level up your language skills for free. And while I appreciate the marketing, one of my biggest problems out of the gate is that it's absolutely not free. Like, you are totally fronting the money for this. And I think you should be really clear from the jump about what's going on. So for the super sprint, which is the one that I'm doing, I don't know the details for the regular one, but it's about, I think, 372 USD a month for the super sprint. So I don't know about you, but I don't generally have like an extra 400 bucks just laying around. So it is a bit of an investment, and it is something that I would recommend saving up for, or just, get clear on your money situation before you decide to jump into this. If you are wanting this experience to be free, I would not recommend it because it's not going to be that way. And there are lots of other things that you can do for free that I've mentioned in some of my other videos that will definitely help you improve your French skills, or any other language skills for that matter. And I think that if you can go into this knowing that you're gonna pay up front, and then whatever money, like if you follow all the rules and you get your money back, that's just kind of a nice bonus. I think that might be how I would wanna frame it. So that way I don't have so much pressure on myself and I know that like what I'm getting into. So that's the deal on the money. If that sounds good to you, then we should talk about what it's like to actually schedule. So once you pay, and about a week before your sprint starts, and actually a week before the beginning of each month in the sprint, you will get all of your credits where you can book your classes. So I like to book mine all at once. I'm sure people do this differently, but I prefer to see what I have to do and then to open up my schedule. And it takes me like probably, I think it took me an hour and 15 minutes this last time to go through and say, okay, I want to take this class at this time. Does this fit into my schedule? And there are so many different class times that are available and so many different teachers. And depending on what level you're put into, you will take a little like language test at the beginning to put you into, your A, B, C, A1, B1, etc. Then you'll have different options of what you can choose. And there is a little curriculum basically that you can follow. I have not been scheduling my classes in any sort of order. Basically, my priority is the time of day. The thing about the scheduling is that for me, it does feel difficult on a day when I have a lot of other things going on to find a class that works. I've definitely taken French classes at 7 a.m. because that was the only time that worked for me that day. Was it ideal? Probably not. But you know what? This is my commitment, and sometimes that's what you have to do. So schedule the classes however you want, but they do have very strict rules about scheduling and canceling. If you don't schedule a class at least a week before the start of that class, they don't guarantee that they'll have a time that fits your schedule. And if you cancel a class within less than a week of when that class is going to be, they will not give you that credit back. So you do want to be careful about doing that. Just know that upfront. I prefer to schedule in advance and then not have to do a whole lot of tweaking because I don't want to possibly mess something up. So that's that. I would also say pay attention to what type of class it is. They have speaking classes, writing classes, grammar classes, reading classes, and by far the grammar classes are my least favorite. Maybe your preference is different. Maybe you love the grammar classes and so you would arrange your schedule differently, but just know that there are different types of classes that you can take and you don't have to take like any type of class. That's the thing. Like you get to choose. You could totally jump around and take classes in different levels if you wanted to, and totally up to you. I really do want to know that I have completed my B11. So I'm taking all the classes in that category. But if you wanted to jump around and see what works for you, you could do that. So that's that on scheduling. And then I want to talk a little bit about what the classes are actually like. So when you schedule a class, you get, sent the information in advance, the Zoom link to join, and the class itself is an hour long, which is great. Sometimes it feels like it flies by. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't. But essentially, you have a teacher. Usually the class is small. I think the biggest class size I had was like 4 other students plus me, which was 5. And, then there was a teacher. So there were 6 of us. And it's people from all over the world, which is so, so cool. And the teachers are from all over too. So I remember the first time I had a teacher who was Quebecois, I was listening and I was like, wow, is she even speaking French? Like, it was so different, but so good. Like, how useful is that to have a teacher who has a really different accent? Not everybody speaks Parisian French, And so to be able to have teachers from Quebec, from Cameroon, from Paris, like all over the place, from Belgium, like you just get so much exposure to so many different accents. And I find that so, so helpful and also so important because people speak in different ways when they're speaking the same language. And why would you not want to feel more comfortable with that, right? So that's really fun. The class itself, you usually start, well, often, not always, you start by introducing yourself to your teacher and your classmates, and then you go through the course material. So there will be different activities, there will be different exercises. Maybe you'll write something in the chat. Maybe you'll be speaking about something. It really just depends. And often there's so much content that you can't even finish it all, which is kind of great because I feel like when we don't finish all the content, it means that we were having a really awesome discussion about something. And I really appreciate that some teachers are really willing to go off script and give you more information or take some time on a topic that may be more difficult for you. So I have really enjoyed that aspect of it. All in all, I think that this is a really cool experience, and this is totally not sponsored. This is just my opinion because I want to share what my experience is and help you figure out if this is right for you. But I'm really glad I'm doing it. Like, if you can get the money stuff figured out for yourself, and if you can really say, okay, for the next 3 months, French is going to be my priority, then I say, why not? Like, your French level or whatever language you choose to take can only improve. And it's really interesting and really fun. I'm learning words that are actually relevant. Like, in school, how sometimes you would have one of those chapters in your language book that was the chapter you knew you were never going to use in real life. For me, it was the sports chapter. I was like, I don't play volleyball or soccer or squash or whatever these options are. Like, I'm never going to use these words. But with Lingoda, you're actually learning useful vocabulary about climate change, about immigration, about different types of family structures, like things that could actually come up in your life and would be useful for you to know. So I really appreciate that this feels really relevant to things that we need and use in the 21st century and not a book that was written in like 1982. I also think that it's just a really great way to show up for yourself and to commit to a language every single day. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't always feel like going to class, but then there are some days where I can't wait to have my class and I'm loving it, and it varies. So I think it is about finding a balance. While I don't think I would want to, or maybe even have the energy to do a class every day for any longer than 3 months, for this 3-month period, I absolutely know that I can do it, and it's a really nice challenge. So if you do like something that feels a little bit more intense, this could be the right thing for you. And if you don't, if you like something that's a little bit less intense, maybe the regular sprint where it's the 15 classes a month could be more at your speed. Or maybe you're like, that's okay, Larnie, you've told me all I need to know and I'm gonna never do this in my life. Totally respect it either way. In any case, I hope this was helpful for you. I do want to do another check-in at the end of this because I'm only about a month in, and my feelings will probably change as the months go on. So stay tuned, check back in at the end of July, I think it will be, when I'm able to do a full recap of the experience. If you've done the Lingoda language sprint, either the super sprint or the regular sprint, I would love to know what you thought about it. Please leave me your comments below. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer about this or things you want me to review, also leave me a comment. I would love to respond and see how I can help you out even more. So that's all for today, my friends. Bon courage if you are studying French or any other language. Until the next video, take good care, and I will see you very soon. Bye.